Celtics in Game 1 in Boston?
I don't know if they should be worried, honestly. I think they're confident in their abilities, and they have the best player in this series and no one who can guard him on the other team. But I think it's tough to play against a team who has nothing to lose. The Boston Celtics have nothing to lose. They're a bunch of young guys who, as I said before, don't have a lot of experience. You heard Jason Tatum, this is my first year. Like, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm just out here hooping, essentially, is what he said. But I think when you have Brad Stevens, who's going to put him in a position to succeed, and you have a bunch of guys who are playing at home, they're going to be comfortable. A lot of guys are making a lot of money for themselves in the free agency market. Smart, Rozier, my fellow Ohioan. So I think they're not afraid of the Cavs. So that's one thing to watch going forward.
When you mentioned not afraid of the Cavs and Brad Stevens' edge to it, I do think one edge that the Celtics have, and I think Ty Lue's a good coach. I think Ty Lue gets a bad rap, but I think they have the coaching edge in Boston. And I think what Brad Stevens is going to be able to do with the time between the series is look at the things Indiana did against the players not named LeBron and see if they can duplicate that. Because the reason Indiana went 7 and Toronto went 4 was not about LeBron. LeBron averaged almost identical stat lines, points, rebounds, assists, shooting percentage in both series. The difference was his supporting cast was outstanding in round 2 and was almost non-existent in round 1. Is that something what Indiana did to those guys duplicable in your opinion, or was that just guys missing shots they typically make?
I think it was a combination of both things. Supporting cast, they had similar looks in both games. JR hit tougher shots. You could argue he hit tougher shots in the series, in the previous series. Whereas in the first series, Kevin Love was missing layups. His rhythm was a little off. He wasn't as comfortable.
No inside presence.
Not a real presence. And then they started force feeding him. He got comfortable. He started hitting tough shots. He started being the aggressor on the offensive end. I think, as you said before, the Cavs will go as far as the role players go. However, LeBron's good enough to get past the Celtics team without Kyrie. Now, if they had Kyrie, they would be worried.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about the series that I'm not going to talk about too much, but Kyrie Irving, if he was on the court. LeBron doesn't have that to worry about. I don't think they have the bodies, and I don't think you can duplicate what happened in the Pacers series. They had wide open looks. Guys couldn't make no buckets. They couldn't make no shots. Now, they did come up with some different sets in the second series against Toronto that was very, very effective, but LeBron, you can't double team him. I think this all boils down to this. How well do the Celtics shoot the ball and shoot it behind the three-point line? They shoot it well at home, but on the road, they haven't shot the ball as well. Do you see this as being one of the difference between the Celtics being able to make this a series or trying to pull the upset?
Definitely. Shot making is going to be crucial. I think figuring out ways to exploit certain mismatches. And you don't necessarily know who LeBron's going to guard in this series. A lot of times he spent time on guys who don't really impact the game offensively to allow him to rest. Look at this Boston Celtics starting 5. Jason Tatum's an aggressor. He's going to attack. He's going to try to score. Jaylen Brown's an aggressor. He's going to attack and try to score. And, Al Horford's going to do a little bit of everything. And then you have Rozier, who's able to get off as well. So you kind of question who's Kyle Korver going to guard, who they're going to put JR on, some of those situations, because I think the Celtics are good enough, regardless of how they shoot, to win 2 games in this series.
Yeah, I think they're going to isolate Kyle Korver and some of those other defenders exactly the same way they did J.J. Redick, the same way they did Barinelli in the Philadelphia series. They isolated, moved the ball till they got the matchup, then they posted them up. Do you think that will work against the Cavaliers?
I think they have to be very cautious of who they attack, because LeBron's going to be a roamer. He's going to try to roam. He's going to be trying to help, figuring out ways to get into the passing lanes and contest shots on the weak side. But I think they're good enough with Al Horford. He initiated the offense some against us when we played them without Kyrie. He's able to move positions and do some different things to where he'll impact the game. And I think that Jason Tatum's been so consistent, 7+ games of 20+ points. Jaylen Brown's going to attack. I think this is going to be a more interesting series than people think.
Look, what's the most interesting question? What's the one question everyone has to answer if the Cavs have a shot here is, how do you stop LeBron?
If the Celtics have
If the Celtics, right. How do you stop LeBron? So what both of you are saying is there's no real way to stop LeBron. You're going to have to throw a mishmash of things. But, Nick, you think that the Celtics have weapons on this team to stop him?
Not to stop him. I think the Celtics are much better equipped personnel-wise than Toronto. I think that they can throw various bodies at him. I think Marcus Morris is a body he's going to have to deal with, similar to Thaddeus Young in the Indiana series. If I want to keep using comparisons, I think Marcus Smart is a rich man's Lance Stevenson. I think he can do a lot of the same things Lance does, but just at a higher level.
Height and weight, though. Height and weight against LeBron. LeBron. Marcus Smart cannot guard.
He's not as tall, but I think Marcus Smart probably weighs the same as Lance. Marcus Smart is a big body. Like he's not as tall. Go ahead, CJ.
I get what you're saying. Marcus Smart's a very good defender. He's versatile, but he's closer to my height. Lance Stevenson is closer to LeBron, closer to Ben Simmons' height. He's in that 6'6" to 6'9" range to where it's different. It's like when Kevin Durant's being guarded by a 6'6" guy versus when Kevin Durant's being guarded by a 6'3" guy. It's completely different.
The other point you make about LeBron, who he's going to guard, in the regular season, they put LeBron on Jaylen Brown more than they put him on almost every other player combined, and he totally erased Jaylen Brown offensively. Jaylen Brown in their matchups was shooting 20% on 89 possessions. On 89 possessions guarded by LeBron, he only made 5 baskets. I don't think that's what they want to do. I think you're right. They want to put LeBron on the other team's worst offensive player so he can kind of play rover to a degree. But what the Celtics have going for him, is they've got, I keep bringing this up, they got no lame ducks out there. They got nobody out there that he can't drive. Everyone out there is a true triple threat. That's one of the things they took advantage against Philly. Philly has some great shooters, but that's all they could do. Boston's got guys that can do everything, which is why they're hard to defend against.
Yeah, they typically can do everything, but you watch Tatum and Brown, especially when they play against LeBron. Watch how their lack of ability to get past LeBron. LeBron plays up on them on the three-point line, and they can't, especially in the playoffs, because they allow LeBron, he's going to be able to contact them. They're not going to be able to get past them, which you see that now, where they are that triple threat when they get the ball. When they go against LeBron, see, I don't see them as being as effective as they have been in other series.
I see Jason Tatum impacting this series the same way he has in the past because he can score at 3 levels. I think that when you can score at 3 levels, it translates regardless of who's guarding you. He can knock down the 3 at a high clip. He can create space for a mid-range, and he can finish around the basket. So I don't think it's going to matter if Bron's guarding him or if I don't know who else is out there that can potentially guard him. I think they're all going to play their games, but I think Jason Tatum's game translates to any series, any situation because he's so smooth. I think Jaylen Brown's more 3 and layup. Right? So he's either shooting a 3 or he's trying to get to the cup. He doesn't pull up as much. He doesn't have that in-between game, or at least he doesn't show it. He may have it. He doesn't show it as much. So I think that's the difference in those two guys.
I'm going to ask you a question that leads me to something. Is there a guy in the league that is not necessarily regarded as a great defender or a great player that for some reason or another gives you trouble? A guy that particularly for some reason just is, you see him on the stairs like, damn, this guy. Is there a guy like that?
I don't feel like anybody gives me trouble.
I knew he was going to say that.
Personally, I think there's some really good defenders in the NBA, but my mentality is to attack and be aggressive. When I miss shots, I think it's because I missed. I don't think it's because somebody played good.
The reason I ask that, and I respect the answer, is Al Horford just gave it to Joel Embiid. But for some reason or another, Tristan Thompson gives Al Horford tremendous trouble. You look at every regular season, postseason, whether it was when Horford was with the Hawks or now that he's here with Boston, Tristan Thompson has been problematic for Al Horford throughout it. You wouldn't think so. Embiid's obviously a better defender than Al Horford. He's a better player than, Embiid's obviously a better defender than Tristan. But that's just one of those odd matchups where the Celtics need Horford to be awesome. And he has struggled tremendously against Tristan Thompson for some reason or another. Now, I don't think Tristan will start. Kevin Love will start at center. But when he comes in, that's a matchup to watch for in my eyes.
Yeah, I think it's something you should definitely watch for, but the only problem with that is that he's not starting the game. So by the time he comes in this series, Al Horford may already be in the rhythm. And as we've seen in this league, once a guy gets in a rhythm, it doesn't matter who you put on him. But I think Tristan Thompson's length, his energy, obviously he impacted the last couple of series with the way he rebounds, sets screens, and can finish around the basket with both hands. So I think he'll definitely impact the series, but it may be too late when he comes into the game.
A few seconds left. Who's going to win the series?
I think the Cavs win in 6.
Wrong. The answer is the Celtics. But that's okay. CJ, did you have fun?
You were great.
I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being here this week. We're going to take a break. Back with more.